Hey guys, I'm back. It's still Tuesday, but I'm back with a different subject about we have came a long way. We were conversating with somebody the other night about telephones and iPhones or whatever, and how far that mankind has come. We are living in one of the most blessed, prosperous times that we've ever known in history. We live at a time to where knowledge is at our fingertips. If you want to know something, just speak in your phone and it'll tell you. If it don't know it, it'll give you a way to get there to where you can figure out what it's supposed to be. And I want to share something with y'all right quick also. I want you to think about something. The iPhone, it has anything and everything that a person could possibly do or want on the iPhone. It's come so far over the years. But I want you to think about something. Now, I'm not against iPhones. I got one and will probably always stay with the iPhone. I probably won't go to another phone. But on the back of the iPhone is an apple, and it has the bite out of the apple. Okay, that means now Steve Jobs, when he created the iPhone, he used that apple with the bite out of it. It meant beginning. It was the beginning of a new era. It was the beginning of a new phone, a new way of doing things. You could have access to internet. Anything you want. And of course, the phone now, is people dog people about the telephones now, and the iPhones or the phones, because there's so much access to so much filth. But also that apple with a bite out of it, meaning the beginning, in Genesis was the beginning. That also represents, I want you to think about this. It also represents, now the Bible does not say that it was an apple that Eve took a bite out of. That's just something that man's come up in their head with. It just said she took of the forbidden fruit. We don't know what the fruit was, but mankind has always put the apple. Every time you see Eve falling in any picture, she's eating an apple. So anyway, so the bite that was took out of the apple was the fall of mankind. So you see how the devil, I think about Joseph. I think about Joseph on his journey from being a teenage boy to being the second in command in Egypt. All the process he went through. And at the end, he tells his brothers, he said, you meant it for evil, because they sold him and got rid of him and sold him and got rid of him. But then in years to come, they had to come face to face with Joseph. And he told them, he said, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for my good. So I think about the phone, the iPhone with the apple on the back, with the bite out of the apple. It could possibly mean the enemy meant it for the downfall of man. And if you look at it, it can be easily used for the downfall of man. You can secretly conversate with somebody. You can secretly make phone calls. You can secretly text people. People are messaging each other in Facebook Messenger behind their significant others' backs. But I want you to know that even before the phone came along, the devil was still working. People were still doing what they wanted to do. They just did it in a different way. So what we've got to do as God's people, we got to make sure that we are using. Now let me share something with you now. The Bible says God created the good and the evil. God created the good and the evil for his own self. So I don't care what is out there that's evil. I don't have to partake of it. Or I can take what the world may try to twist as evil. I can take it and make it work for my good. I use my phone for my Bible. I have Bible apps on my phone. I have like the Proverbs 31 ministry app on my phone. I'm signed up for all kind of emails that I get encouragement on. Stuff is sent to me through emails that I can download, I can print off, that helps me in my education. You see, the devil meant it for evil. But we as God's people, we have to take it and make it for good. Now, I may be going a little bit way back there. But, a lot of people say, well, the telephone is of the devil. The iPhone is of the devil. All it does is give them access to look at pornography and look at this and look at that. And well, let me tell you something. I had brothers, okay? I had brothers when I was little, and I still have them. The phone didn't stop them from looking at dirty books. There was pornography going on back then. They had Playboy books and they was hiding them under their mattresses, and hiding them here and hiding them there. The devil has always been there. But we as God's children, or anybody, you don't even have to claim to be a Christian. You don't have to succumb to those kind of things. So let's take what the devil might have meant for evil, whether it's a telephone, television, computer. Man, I remember, I get tickled because I think about now I want you to think about this. If people that lived 100 years ago, people that lived 80, 90 years ago, not lived the last 80 or 90 years, but they lived 80 or 90 years ago, and they died about 80 years ago. If they was to come back to life and look at us now, they would probably, and the Christians would probably have every one of us doomed for hell because of the telephones, television, because of the computers, but I'm telling you, God will allow his people to advance in those things. That if we will pay attention to what God is doing, we can take what the devil meant for evil and turn it around for the good. So, I'm not against my iPhone. I love my phone. I wouldn't want to be without my phone. Maybe I do need to fast 2 or 3 days away from my phone. But it's my connection. I read the scriptures on there. I'm always listening to YouTube. And I don't just watch and listen to anything. I'm always listening to something inspirational, something inspiring, some preaching, some singing, something that's even educational. I have actually took some online courses. Now, tell me, when was we able to do that up until the last probably 20 years or so? So I just want us to know that the devil may try to take these things and hurt us with them. But if we'll realize what a gold nugget we have in our hands and use it for good, we can reverse this thing on him. So anyway, I don't know really what, I just wanted to share that with you today. I've just thought about how far we've come from telephones and where we are today. And I want to challenge you to not allow the enemy to make you or you lose focus or you fall for his tricks, because you do have access to more things now than we ever have. But I say, what a blessing. What a blessing. Devil, you're a liar. The things that God has allowed the children of God to have now, to grow his kingdom, to reach, within a matter of minutes, a message for the whole world can go out, That is a blessing from God. Yeah, a bad message can go out too. But that's where we as God's people got to intervene and make sure that we're doing all we can do to make sure that the good prevails. So anyway, I'm glad y'all hung in here with me today. But think about that iPhone. Think about that apple and that bite out of that apple. And remember, Eve fell after she took the bite. Not necessarily the apple, but out of the fruit. So it's the beginning of the fall of man is what the devil wanted it to be, the beginning of the fall of man, or to add more failure to man. But I'm not falling. I'm moving up in Jesus. Y'all have a great, great day. Message me, text me, inbox me, and let's get together and talk about the Lord. I love him, and I love talking about him.